First and foremost, we want to thank you so much for choosing this episode of Two Dimes and a Token. We do have to give a disclaimer. This episode has a little bit of a sexual innuendo, goes very far down the rabbit hole. So if it's not your style, or if you're under the age of 18, we suggest that you back out, go check out another episode that we have. But if you are down for the ride, then by all means, continue with the episode.
That's fantastic.
Somehow that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work.
I'm not
For
feeling
me. I mean, but as far as tattoos, I tell everyone that's something that's gonna be on your body for the rest of your life. So, what do you feel that's a good representation of how you feel about you? How you express
that's fucking easy, dog. Oh, I love this conversation. This is my favorite. I get piercing clients. They're young and they bring this stuff up all the time. They're like, I just don't know what I could ever get that
Modelo
that I can commit to for my life. I'm like, that's because you're overthinking it. You got to take it. You got to get real dumb. You got to dumb it down as hard as you can. Think about, like, so for instance, me. I don't have, like, what you might call, like, your stereo, and it's not even stereotypical now, but, like, what a lot of people think of with tattoos is, like, things that represent their relationships with other people, or, you know, things that they think are pivotal moments in their life, or any number of things like that. Motherfucker, that is not, I don't even think those are cool-ass tattoos. Like, that can mean something to you, and that's fine. But if you really want to avoid getting a tattoo that could possibly lead to regret, get shit that has your memories and nobody else's. I got giant fucking Pokemon on the back of I got a giant ass red Gyarados on the back of my leg. On this leg, I got a T-Rex eating a raptor. You know why? I could be 85 years old and I'm not going to sit here and be like, you know what? Raptors and T-Rexes just aren't that cool anymore. Fuck off. T-Rexes
cool 35 billion years ago.
They were cool 35 billion.
You name one other thing that's 65 million years old and people are like watching movies about it. It's dinosaurs.
He's got a valid point there.
You do.
I
just think about, like, a day in your life is like taking away a tattoo of a loved one. Like, I'm not in love for her anymore. So they automatically have
all the time. I don't feel bad.
You don't feel bad about it?
Not
I
one
don't feel
bit.
bad.
But
at
you
all.
know who I do feel bad? You know, tomorrow's Super Bowl. Everybody, there are countless, like, people that have, like, so tomorrow is, what is it, the
Eagles versus
Kansas City and,
Yes.
and Eagles. They'll be like, Super Bowl winner, the Chiefs, and then the next day
They lose.
Is that
they lost.
still a thing? Like, people
There
come
are
in the day
countless
before?
people that. Well, I've never done it, but if you Google it, there are countless people that got, like, Super Bowl 2001 was, you know, the Dolphins, and it was like, you know, they lost terribly or whatever.
You know what's sad? If you'd have caught me in 2000,
Who is that kicker?
When Carolina played,
Who is the kicker that
Patriots?
missed the 3 kicks?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah, he
Dude,
missed
you
4.
should get his name, and it should say best kicker in a heart. That'd be like,
Dude, that sucks.
Yes.
Dude, that dude had a horrible time after that, man. I feel like his career, like, and he had a great career coming up to that point. What was it? He only missed, like, what, 1 or 2
was he
the
a
whole
good
season?
kicker and he just
He was
choked?
great.
You can't play for Dallas and not be good.
Yeah,
That's
they
America's
kinda,
team.
You know, well,
Boy, that
they're
boy's
just
life
choke
is over.
artists. But either way, like,
I mean, that's a big
He had a
stage.
great season. If I'm not mistaken, I wish we had our monitor like we did in the thing. We're gonna look it up right now. We have to look this up because I don't.
He probably
have the
had
numbers.
one missed kick, and then that day he was just off.
Yeah,
And you don't do that with Dallas. Like, Texas is all about football. They live, die, and breathe football. So
How many football teams do they have?
oh my God. In Texas, I mean, Dallas, you only got Dallas Cowboys. That's America's team.
Yeah,
They're considered to be America's team.
I thought it was the damn Patriots.
Dude, I know one thing
Well,
about
we
football, and that's the name Dan Marino. That's it. That's all
I mean, that's all you need to know. That's all you
That's
need
all I
to know.
know.
You know, Miami Dolphins.
and I only remember because he's in that Ace Ventura
Oh,
movie.
hell yeah.
yeah, laces out.
Laces out.
Laces
That's what
out.
I was saying. I was like, man, I even know laces
Snowflake.
out.
Yeah,
This
so-
motherfucker knows
that's-
shit
that's
about
Yeah,
right.
kicking.
Dolphins
no
and
laces
shit.
out.
I mean,
shit.
So outside of that, you don't follow football at all?
Oh no, I haven't watched.
I mean, as of lately, it's changed to a whole different dynamic anyway. People are saying that, you know, these games are fixed and so on and so forth. We know Buffalo's going to win the next
Yo,
Super Bowl.
you know what? Everybody was like, that motherfucker from the Patriots, what's his name? He just retired. He was on the Bucks, the quarterback.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. They're like, he's throwing a flat football. Fuck them. Fuck the Patriots. And then he came to Tampa Bay, and everybody in Florida was like, I love Tom Brady. Hell yeah, come on down.
You're going to see people change no matter what because
You're
he's
not
playing
wrong
for your
at all.
favorite team.
Playing
Talking
by
shit till
colors.
he was on
Yeah.
the team.
Listen, I tell you, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I would like you guys.
You have to.
I'm still trying to find the stats.
I don't even know why you're trying.
All it's showing is postseason stuff.
Because that's all that matters.
Should we save football for another pod?
That's what I'm saying. It
Probably.
really doesn't matter.
Either way, all I'm saying is I think he only missed one or two. He didn't miss any. I don't know. He was in that range. And then he got into the first round of the playoffs and he missed fucking 5.
4. But it was enough.
Oh, no. He missed the next one going in. Remember, it got blocked in the next game. He
Oh,
went to
yeah,
kick
yeah,
it, it
yeah,
got blocked.
yeah,
They
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
missed
yeah.
5 in a row in the
Yeah,
postseason.
I mean, he wasn't having the best postseason.
No lie. There was like the next week I came here to get an update, right? So when we did Thor, Mike was like, dude, I swear to God, anybody could pay me $650,000 a year to miss fucking 5 field goals. I was like, absolutely, you could.
Anybody. I'm excited for him, though.
I feel the same way about the boxers or like the UFC fighters. Like, pay me 6 digits. Anybody come beat me up for that.
You know what, though? I think that's hard in UFC, though. UFC is well, it depends. It depends on your version of money, right? Because boxers, you're talking about like
The flashy ones like Pacquiao versus so and so.
exactly. You're talking about big name money. You're
Yeah.
talking about $50 to $100 million for not including pay-per-views and all that bullshit.
That's why everybody hates on Jake Paul, which I'm not a fan, but I understand the hustle. Like, I'm gonna talk shit, go in a ring, get paid $1 million to get my ass whipped.
And
I'm down. Sign me up.
to be perfectly frank with you, though, with the MMA fighters, like mixed martial arts, like Conor McGregor, everybody should know by now.
He's the highest paid.
He's by far the highest paid, but he just signed up.
To lose.
Yeah, he's gonna get his
he's not
ass
gonna
whipped.
win.
Which I
He
mean,
doesn't
dude,
care.
you're out of the game. You're a fucking dude.
What are
You're
they-
almost a billionaire.
What is he doing it for? Just because he likes it, or
That's his passion, but at the same time, like he just keeps running his mouth. And I mean, don't get it twisted. I was huge Conor McGregor fan. I loved him, bro. I loved how he.
I liked early Connor. I didn't
Exactly.
Like
I
the trash
loved
talk.
early Connor because he was like fighting for shit. And then his attitude and the way that he talked shit and then his play, he backed it up, right? He literally predicted like 4 of his first 5 fights when he would knock him out, the whole shebang. And he did great. So it led to big time pay-per-views, and then he started expanding, and then he went to different weight classes. Then he fought Mayweather, right? And it led to a huge payday.
Isn't there a fight tonight?
Yes, there is, but unfortunately, we're gonna.
Okay.
Anyway, so, but the thing with that is though, now Connor, like I tell people this all the time, bro, you are rich as fuck. You have not had a hard day in your life in years now. You lost the dog, bro. Once you got the double championship, once you fought Mayweather, once you made proper 12 Irish whiskey, once you got the Lamborghini boat.
Wasn't his last fight the ankle break? Ankle snap?
Against Dustin Poirier, he
So
lost.
terrible.
Yeah, and that's the thing, dude. It's like he's great for advertisement because he really did. He's not the sole guy, but he is the guy that'll stand at the top of the ladder that put MMA where it is. He's the guy that put the face, right? That's the face of mixed martial arts right there. There's no doubt about it, which is why he's the highest paid. Everybody knows who he is. But
Dude, is it raining?
yes, it is.
Oh, it's coming.
There's
It's
no
raining all the way
reason.
here.
Yeah, there's zero reason for him to get back in the ring now. He's only doing it now. More money, just stay relevant.
More fun?
And he's getting ready to get. He's probably going to get knocked out again. So
I mean, you're fighting. I feel like once you reach the pinnacle, you have nothing else to prove. Like he has nothing else to prove.
He has
He's not
zero.
on fire, though, so even if he does win, it's like, okay, so
yeah,
fight 20 other guys, you know?
yeah.
He's not the guy to beat anymore, and that's just
Yeah.
just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, he's really not.
You got to build that hype train.
he's beatable, and everyone knows he's beatable now. So it's time to move on to the next person. When you talk about Jake Paul, I'm excited about Jake Paul because this is a guy that's
I
building.
heard he just signed with some other MMA company, which I think was
Yeah.
smart on the other MMA company to compete against Dana.
No,
and
that was
UFC.
smart as fuck for him. He signed on for a fat piece of equity. That kid knows
Oh
what he's
my
doing.
God, yeah.
He signed up with them under the explicit terms that he would get a massive stack of equity because he knows he's going to bring viewership, and if anybody can bring a legitimate chance for any outside organization to go toe to toe, it's going to be someone with a massively loyal following. Like, think
Yeah.
about it. That kid's got 25 million people.
I got to
who
be
are
honest.
Always,
Yeah.
they're ready to watch him just literally talk about Pokemon cards. Imagine, like, watching him get punched in the face.
yeah.
I don't think,
Bam.
I respect the thought process because I agree if that's what you're going to do as an opposing company to the UFC. Yes, that's the route you're going to take. You're going to sign a guy like that. But at the same time, I think the UFC is too built when it comes to MMA. I think they kind of ownership it, just like the NFL does on Sundays. Like the NFL owns it.
They do.
So it's like, I mean, you're going to compete, but at the same time, you're going to be like the XFL. The Rock owns the XFL. Dude, you're never going to be the NFL. We all know this, right?
What's the XFL?
XFL is like an additional football league that kickstarts in the off season of the NFL. Like literally, it's starting up here in the next like 2-3 weeks.
It's like a joke.
No,
it's real.
It's a real league, but it's
And the Rock owns it.
The Rock bought majority shares. Yes, as far as I don't know the exact percentage, I just know what I read. And I again not super detailed, but I know he's majority ownership. So he now runs, I want to say 8, 12 teams right in there.
That dude has got his hands and toes and feet and dick in every single thing. The Rock is like, so smart.
That's the ultimate hustler. I tell everybody, he tells you no one's gonna outwork me.
You know who I saw the other day? So The Rock has got the cat. What's his tequila?
Terramana, baby.
Your
Do you
favorite.
see that shit?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I just saw the other day?
Huh.
Kevin Hart makes a tequila.
Yes, he does.
And he's like, yeah, I got these fields in Mexico. I'm like, you're just straight ripping, competing with The Rock.
Absolutely. That's exactly what he's
It's
doing.
kind of funny because everybody knows it. So it's like, okay.
So
But there's room for everybody now.
We went to the Kevin Hart's last stand-up show in Tampa. This was a few months ago.
not the
Ash and I
last.
did.
Mm-hmm.
We went there, and he's literally promoting it at the end of the show with his special little bottle and everything. And the moment he said it was tequila, I was like, bruh.
Come on.
But
there's room for everybody.
But there's room for everybody. So
I
it's
mean,
like,
think
yeah,
about
get
that
yours.
though.
Like, whatever.
That's
You
not a
think it's
bad
the
move. If he
same?
were to go whiskey, do you think he would get as much attention as if he did something
He
that
shoulda
people
did a
were like,
cognac.
"Oh, you're ripping
Cognac,
off the Rock."
yes. When's the last time somebody represented like, oh, look at this?
What
name.
you mean?
If he did a Hennessy rip, oh man,
Ooh, that would actually be massive bucks.
that's what he should have did.
That's
But
big
you,
shit.
You already have like 50 Cent has like vodka.
Yeah.
You have so many rappers that have a brand of alcohol. He's just joining the party.
You know what? Eventually, you're gonna run out of market space on that because when you walk into a liquor store, dude, you already have an abundance of 300 plus choices. Eventually, you're just like, do I want to drink Jay-Z or Kevin Hart?
People like a lot of alcoholics don't venture out. They don't go, oh, well, let's try this week. Nope, they stick to what they know or what they like.
So ironic you say that because I only drink one thing.
Right.
Terramana.
That's it. I only drink Terramana.
And Modelo.
Me. I'm
Yes.
not an
Well,
alcoholic, so I'm going for
listen.
everything. I don't stop.
If Mike tells me to drink it, I drink it
Yeah.
because he makes my arms look good.
Hey.
I feel like it's more about introducing that brand to a new audience. Someone that doesn't drink, someone that's just entering college, that's a Kevin Hart fan. His family grew up watching it. His dad grew up watching it. Now, that's the brand that they're going to associate with.
See, this is where I love these business ideas and conversations. 'Cause this is where my wheels start fucking spinning. I see where you're coming from with the whole competition thing, but what so many people, and I see this in the tattoo industry every day. So many people try to compete by like trying to argue over clients who've already been won. Like for instance, you're a great example of this. You're in the middle of massive work with Mike.
Yep.
There's always a chance, let's say you're a different person. Let's wipe you as a personality and say you're just a person getting sleep from Mike, right? There could be a chance that you could go somewhere else. But for another shop or another artist in general to try and pull you is going to be a lot of work. That's why, as the piercer, getting these 15, 16, 17, 18, college age, all these kids, I don't try to fight other shops for the clients in their 20s, late 20s, their 30s that already have an artist. Where I'm like, you should try us instead.
If I saw a sleeve
you
like
ain't got
that,
no tattoos at all yet,
don't
and
try.
you're 19 years old, and you're trying to go to school to become an engineer. Let me talk to you about tattoos, honey. Because I got some guys.
You're building that loyalty.
I'm planting the seeds, bitch.
That's what I'm saying. You're building that loyalty.
You could fight for that dude who's maybe got $500, $1,500 left in tattoos. I'm going for the one that's about to be making 6 figures in 3 years, and they're going to remember me.
Because they're going to remember where they got that tattoo from. And like you said,
Or
when
they're piercing. I
That's what I'm saying.
lay the butter on thick when I talk to college kids that are like, yeah, I'm going to medical school. I'm like, you don't say.
Give me 3. I
One
want
of
to tell
my
you guys
biggest
something.
clients, dude. You don't even got to convince. You just got to be like, hey, you want a tattoo?
I want you guys to know I'm super stoked how we went from tattooing an asshole all the way to business conversation.
Yeah, I don't know how.
We
got there.
spiraled there a little bit. I was about to say, should we backtrack, get it back on track?
I don't know if we
or-
want to go back to the asshole.
I feel like we're working back onto the.
But
We're
at
working
the
back
same
to it.
time-
Exactly. We're doing great.
To me, we all knew the piercings were. Well, at least we assumed that piercing was going to be.
You know what? I think a lot of people, I agree. I think a lot of people were wondering when we got done with the first episode with these guys, they were like, hey, what's the weirdest thing you've ever pierced? Or what's the weirdest tattoo you've ever done? And now we've answered those questions.
I don't think we really did because I don't think it is some tattoos that I believe won't leave you. Like if you tattoo someone's entire body, you will remember that a whole lot more than you remember that little shooting star of their grandma.
I remember like probably a good 90% of what I tattoo, unless it's script, like a lot of I don't know, just writing. That
Really?
shit I don't remember, but most of my tattoos, I could see it like 8 years later and be like, did I do that? It's like,
If
That's
you want
wild.
to talk about the things that stick, it's not where you guys might think. Because, like, there are tattoos that stick, sure, but of all the things that stick, it's the people. And more specifically, it's the fucking stories that you cannot make up. You want
That's what I'm talking about.
you want some fucking juicy shit right now? I was waiting for this moment.
Pretense.
Uh-oh.
Pretense. Hold on, because
Waiting
now
for
I got to
this.
go to the bathroom. Just
Oh,
like-
Go ahead. You can say it without it.
We interrupt this podcast to bring you Sunterra Solar Solutions, a leading edge solar company committed to making sure they provide a phenomenal experience to its customers. Going solar was one of the best decisions that I ever made. Not only did they provide me a no-hassle experience, it didn't feel like a sales experience. It felt like an amazing person-to-person having a conversation on whether solar was going to be right for me. I was fortunate enough to not only lower my monthly energy cost, but they gave me an option to be able to create a stabilized monthly bill that I could prepare around. I qualified for a new customer incentive that put cash in my hand after installation, as well as I qualified for a tax credit at the end of that same year after I had it installed. All in all, not only was it the best decision I ever made, I lowered my monthly energy costs, I stabilized my bill, I put a ton of cash in hand. It felt like I got paid to go solar. And my most favorite part that I haven't even mentioned, it eliminated my exposure to future increasing rates from the utility companies. So if you think going solar is the right thing for you, by all means, hit us up in our DMs. We can connect you with a sales associate today. And now, back to the episode.
I've been waiting on you to talk about the ups and downs of this job and what brings you to the present moment. And that's exactly what it is. I mean, when you deal with
Not there.
someone,
No,
No,
not
not
there.
that one.
my-
That room is filled
don't
to
touch
the
it.
brim
Don't
with
touch it.
AIDS. There's AIDS in there.
Whoa, wait a minute. You just keep a room that's
Yeah, that's the
AIDS room.
AIDS room. Yeah, I don't know what they're actually called, but that's where.
So
we
that's
keep
where, yeah, all the tools that we use, they're cleanable, like a hospital. I don't know if you know this or not, but when doctors rip out a pair of tools, you are not the first person that they have stuck those tools inside of. They get cleaned, processed, and autoclaved. This is the exact same process we do here. They go from my biohazard bin to that room where they're run through an ultrasonic cleaner, and then they're scrubbed, rinsed, packaged in sterilization pouches, and run through an autoclave, which uses a combination of pressure, steam, and heat to sterilize them. The steam goes through the package. It creates a chemical vapor that then disinfects the tools, and then they are ready to be used again. But in between the start of the process to the finish, they are to be considered in all ways fully contaminated. So we call it the AIDS room. So when people, like you saw, we said it, he fucking hesitated. He was like, "Argh!"
That's why it's back here, so nobody goes there and touches it. We all know that that room is possibly any and all diseases. I mean, ideally not. And
You don't touch
it's-
nothing in there with no gloves.
Yeah, it's that way. It's contained in one room, and it can be nuked if needed. But
I really thought you guys used a different set of needles for every tattoo.
The needles are different. We do not reuse needles.
Piercings and all that good stuff.
no,
It's
the
things
piercing
like-
needles are different too.
Yeah.
But the tools.
It's like the clamp. The clamp gets cleaned, reused, and that's perfectly safe. That shit's sterile. Like there's not a single microbe on those things, but it has to be brought there. But now that he's back, We're about to get weird. And he's got plenty too.
What was the room in there?
The AIDS room.
It's AIDS.
Don't worry, you can watch it on the pod. Go ahead.
I guess I'll watch it on the
it weird.
podcast.
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
I gotta piss.
So he knows this story. I'll tell it. Okay. For me, especially at the very least, I remember the instances where I'm just like in disbelief on how these people act or what they do, more than like anything from any actual piercing I've ever done. I'm going to tell you the story of Meth Mom. So,
Meth Mom.
Let's
Meth Mom.
caption that.
Meth Mom. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Meth
oh,
Mom.
this is Meth Mom. So I had this lady come in. For what it's worth, she looked very, very well put together. She comes in with her, she's like a 15-year-old girl, her daughter. And she doesn't look like anything more than just like a typical mom on a day dealing with a 15-year-old. She's got her mom bun up. Her teeth don't look bad. She doesn't look like she doesn't wash herself. She's dressed well. And she's here to get her tongue pierced. So this is Meth Mom. He knows. So we go to the room. We're doing the piercings, do everything, get it finished up. And then at the end, when we're talking about aftercare, she looks at her daughter and she goes, "Honey, I need you to go to the front. I have an adult question for this man." Now,
Okay.
in this industry, that typically means something very different than where it ends up leading. You get people all the time where they get this is why I collect up front now. They'll try to get something done because a tattoo, you can't take that back. It's not like you're buying a shirt at the store and you're like, "Oh, I actually don't have money for this." And then I make you put it back on the hanger. Like, once the tattoo's done, it's done. So a lot of times they'll try to put on a facade and then they offer to suck your dick. But that's not what this was. But that's what I'm preparing myself for.
He's saying they offered fellatio.
Fellatio. Go ahead.
So that's what I'm ready for. But then she looks at me and she's like, "We're adults. And I like to have fun. Occasionally I smoke meth. Can I smoke meth with this tongue piercing?" I was not ready for this question.
How
Okay.
professional.
Okay, professional.
So I'm not even kidding.
Sounds like a weekend warrior, dude.
Like what I was saying, man,
Curtis.
like she did not. I was not expecting that
Mike-
to come out of her mouth.
Mike's
in-
face
in
of
any
happiness right now.
So I'm just like, I'm totally dumbfounded. And I look at her and I'm just like, "No, you can't do that. That's
Why can't you do that?
I don't
I
think it's
wouldn't-
technically bad for the piercing. It's just bad for everything else.
well, so
I'm with you on that one. Like, but why
So
would
you're
you tell
looking
her
out
as
for
an
her.
opportunity to just, say meth is a bad idea.
you're part of their
That's
program?
about as good as it gets.
This is, you all of a sudden became part of
This
their
is the
program.
best it's gonna get
Why
for
would
you.
you tell her she can't do what she enjoys doing the most?
So to be fair, medically there are problems with smoking anything, not just meth. Like cigarettes, weed, smoking with an oral piercing is a bad idea. You create a suction to pull vapor into your mouth. Suctions create additional swelling, and it's just bad for the healing process. So I actually, with tongue piercings, I tell people to stop smoking of any kind, as well as alcohol consumption. I typically leave meth off the list because I figure
forgot
that's a
about
given.
the alcohol. I got my tongue pierced once, and they were like, "You can't drink alcohol," and I was like, "Take this shit out! What the fuck?"
You can give yourself a
Oh,
yeast
shit.
infection in a tongue piercing if you consume alcohol and smoke cigarettes and shit. Like, you can cause serious health issues. You want a yeast
Really?
infection in the middle of your tongue?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good with all infections.
I don't think he's
not
ever
just-
been more deterred away from tattoos and piercings
Yeah,
than
yeah.
right
Yeah, I was gonna get the tongue anyway, but now I'm definitely not.
now. Now I'm definitely not.
So,
So those are the things that stick. It's like that shit. I will remember Meth Mom to the fucking day I die.
so how did she leave? After that?
she was just like, all right,
She just took that on
Yeah.
chin.
gone,
Fine.
Took that
out of here.
At
That
least
was
it was a
it.
good customer.
She was great. Like,
Well,
I'd pierce her
potential
again.
Customer.
No, I wouldn't even hesitate. She came in, I'd yo,
That was the correct way to pitch that. She did a good job.
like,
Yeah, she did a good job.
I am impressed right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that was part of why I was so like taken back, because I was just like,
You did that the right way.
that was polite as fuck.
Yeah, it was.
I was not ready for this.
Did I tell you I had to fire that lady the other day?
Oh, the
So this lady,
fuck?
this lady
I
shows.
saw the me-
Oh my god!
Why did you do?
Dude? So this lady comes in one night, and
Here you go, Mike.
she's an hour late.
Get in that microphone, Mike.
She's an hour late. She has her like 10-year-old daughter. Maybe no, she had to be like 6. She's just bouncing off the walls. Like she definitely just fed the kid like a whole monster right before. She's bouncing off the walls. Her phone isn't on. She's an hour late. It's like 7:30. We close in like 20 minutes. And she has a gift certificate that's 2 years out of date. And she's like, I'm here for my appointment. I'm like, no, you fucking aren't. Like, no, you just crossed every single goddamn line I have. And I was like, and it wasn't my appointment. And I was like, they're not doing it. We are rescheduling, and you're rescheduling with me because this is not going to happen. And I was like, I'll honor it because she was being, I don't know, she was fucked up on something. Like she was like very incoherent. I don't know. She was barred out or something. She's like, no, you're an hour. I'm like, I don't care. Like, go, like, leave. So I'm dreading this day for like all month. I'm like, damn, this lady's coming in. Like, I shouldn't have rescheduled her. I should have just told her to leave. But I don't know. So I was like, all right, I got to call her. I'm like, I can't call her. I tell Matt to call her. I hate being mean to people. But I'm like mean all the time.
But I'm like mean all the
tow
time.
truck driver.
It's hard. It's hard. So, so he calls, no answer. I'm like, fuck, dude. Or no, the line didn't work.
It was like, we're sorry. This number is no longer in service.
Oh,
I was like,
man.
oh no.
So she's coming.
I was like, oh
She's
shit,
coming.
she left another number. So I called that number, no answer. I'm like,
I even sent this bitch an email.
he emailed her. I texted both numbers. Like I tried to find her on Facebook. I sent her a message. Like she didn't respond. I'm like, dude. And the day shows up, and I'm like, maybe she won't come in. So then I'm headed to work, and Bob sends a message to the group chat, and he goes, yo, your appointment just called. She said she'll be there. She thought it was at 2:30. I corrected her at 2. And I said, all good. We'll see you then. I'm like, why the fuck would you tell this bitch? I'm like, all right, well, we got a number now. I was like, let me call her. I put her on the hands-free, and I called her. I'm like, all right, be tough. Like, I'm all right. We called, we texted, and you did this and you did that. And she was the nicest lady I had ever talked to in my life. Like, she was like, oh, well, I'm really sorry. And like, I hope I didn't upset anyone. And like, I was like, damn, I felt really bad. And I was like, all right, well, what's your Cash App? And I just like Cash Apped her the money back. I was like, I don't know, sorry.
Wow.
So
felt bad, dude.
why didn't you want to deal with it?
You don't know what's
No,
going to
no.
happen afterwards.
If you cross the line once, the odds are very good. You will cross the line again.
No, that was it. I sent her money back, and she went somewhere else.
That lesson's been learned painfully too many times.
But I felt bad. She was so nice. I was like, oh, maybe I should have just tattooed her.
What's the wildest story you guys have in here of just people walking in here, getting work done or whatever? The wildest one.
We
Dig
did
deep.
have one night where we just happened to be here late with everybody, and we were going to go do a shop outing. And this lady, we forgot to lock the door. She walks in. If you're open in Bradenton past 9 o'clock, it's nothing but crackheads.
Oh, it's bad.
She walks in, and she's like, all right, whose dick do I got to suck to get a tattoo right now?
Wow.
And there's like 10 of us like, what?
Wow.
She's like, actually, I don't care. I'll suck every one of your dicks. I need a tattoo. We were like,
We got to bleep all
Get-
the dicks.
out. You're not allowed to say dick?
I don't think so.
I think
don't
it
know.
sounds
No,
better
we
if
got to run it past Lauren. You got to remember, guys, we're
Bleep
still
it.
in the process
Bleep
of growing.
it. It sounds better.
We're
when
gonna
you
believe
bleep
it. We're gonna
Sounds
believe
better.
It sounds better with the
definitely-
bleep.
It's hilarious. They're gonna be like, what are they talking about?
The moment that he said, I will suck everyone's...
It's just beep, 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 beep. I just had that in my head. But go ahead.
But
As
like,
HR
I think
representative.
his wife was here. My girlfriend at the time was here. The other guy's wife was here. The other guy's wife was here. And we're like, get out. Like, what are you doing here? She's like, so nobody? No, leave.
Nobody.
Wow.
Like, no.
Not you?
No, not at all.
Oh, yeah.
Not one person.
Yo, have you ever had someone at the end of a tattoo, just like any one of your artists in the past 8 years, had afterwards just be like, bro, no, never.
Like
See that?
angry with the tattoo?
Just angry with the artistry of it, or angry with how it came out.
No, we're preemptive about that very heavily.
We only had one lady recently, but it wasn't like, she wasn't unhappy with the tattoo, but she paid for more time than she got, which guess who had to do free work?
Okay.
But I just corrected
So
that.
in other words, the artistry was obviously great. It's just
She
it took
originally
way
was my
less time
client.
than
She was
originally.
originally my client, and I've been tattooing her for years, and we've had a great time, and she's got great work for me. she like went with somebody else, and they ended up leaving. And guess who got screwed and
See,
stiffed? I did.
that's why.
That's why you don't cheat on me.
I was gonna say that's why you don't cheat on your barber. You don't cheat on your tattoo artist.
I mean, but you just told me tattoo artists come and go, like ever so often for whatever reason. You.
That's why there's so many shops, because nobody gets along. They're like, I'm gonna open my own shop. That's why there's 400 shops.
So there's no non-compete for you guys. You can.
A lot of shops do. We don't, because I mean, and I don't say this to sound arrogant, we know what we offer. Like, we're very flexible. We're very lenient. Do good tattoos. Don't ever let your fucking appointment show up before you do without a very valid excuse. And be respectful to our clients. Outside of that, like, we're super fucking chill. As far as a place to work goes, we try to make this as, like, easy entry and high cruising altitude as it could possibly be.
If they want to leave, and this has happened, they want to leave, they go open their own shop, that's fine. But, like, don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. You know, don't be like, I'll show them, because you won't.
Well, let me ask you.
I mean, you know what? If you do, good. Bring it.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Say great terms. Say you have an artist that is like telling you up front, like, hey, you know, I don't want to take any clients. There's no harshness, but I really would love to, you know, open up my own shop. I want to do that. That's a dream of mine. Like,
that's different.
yeah.
We
would you guys like, hey,
That's cool. That's cool.
Fuck
just
yeah.
keep us in the loop. You know, don't just vanish. Be like, hey, like T-minus 5 months, you know?
We got a boy, Daniel.
Now,
Daniel used to work
would you
for
guys
us.
be like a helping hand a little bit to that, or are you guys like, hey, man,
Dude,
best of luck?
so the guy who did this T-Rex for me, his name's Daniel. He worked for us for about a year and a half.
We love Daniel.
Great fucking guy. He did it the right way. He came to us. He's like, hey, we're going to Tampa, and I'm going to open up a private studio. And I've never done this before, and I loved working here, but sometimes it's not a bad, you know, departure. It's just life happens.
It depends on how close. If you open like 1 block from us,
That's a fucking
you're dead to
problem.
me. But
That's a fucking
you open
problem.
2 towns over, sure, I'll help you. I don't care.
Yeah, so he's like, I want to open up my own little studio in Tampa and tattoo, but I don't know anything about this. I don't know, because there's a lot of legalities. There's red tape everywhere. We break your skin. The government's all up our butts.
Yeah.
So he's like, would you like give me a little advice? I was like, dude, Daniel, call me anytime. I was like,
That's cool.
let me know, dude. Like, you're a great guy. I want to see you succeed. You didn't do me wrong. I ain't mad at you. Like, take care of your family. Chase your dreams, dude. Aim
Would it
for
be
the
like a
stars.
Sacred Arts too? Would if he asked you, could he name his shop the same?
Nah,
name?
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we
That
tackled that.
doesn't
earlier.
work.
How does it not work? I mean, you love
Quality
him.
control. Quality control.
So there's under zero circumstance you guys will ever expand to another shop.
We would move, like, it's hypothetically, if right next door a brand new building got put in with like all new stuff, and we would have our own building, we would buy and move, but not like, no,
Not a second location.
no.
Damn.
Not worth it. I've
Maybe
got
if
a
it was
very-
out of state, like one day we were just like, fuck it, we're going to Colorado, which is also oversaturated with tattoo shops.
Yeah.
But we'd have to start from the bottom, which
And
we know how
marijuana.
to, so whatever.
Yeah, I've got part of the growing pains of the shop was discovering the balance of like work life and like enjoyment. Like, I mean, I try to remind myself every day I have nothing to complain about. Like, do I make $1 million a year? No. Do I live a very happy life? Yeah, like I fucking love this shit. Like, I have a good time. I love the people I'm around. And I'm not necessarily worried about.
I think that's why I felt
Chasing
bad for
dollars
the
past
tow
a
truck
certain
driver, because I put it in perspective for myself. I was just like, this is why you work out here at 5 a.m. with assholes yelling at you. I was like, I guess my job's all right.
It's really not that bad.
Yeah.
Really not that bad.
No, I try to remain like grounded as best I can.
Yeah.
And remind myself, because I see it in my. I have something that helps me. I see my parents every day. My parents both have worked jobs that fucking blow their whole lives. They make shit for money. They absolutely despise what they do, but they have to. Like, it's it's a perpetual grind of like
You know, it's
fucking
funny.
loathing.
Is his parents both hated tattoos. They were like, if you ever have tattoos, we'll disown you, cut your nuts off, punch you in the teeth. They didn't say that. I'm making that up. But when we bought the shop, his mom was like,
Oh, they thought it was.
are
the
you kidding
worst
me?
fucking
Like,
idea.
they're like, you are like, they're this
Is
close
this a
to
good
disowning.
idea?
And then like 2 years later, we started picking up steam. And then now they're like, oh, my successful tattoo shop owners. And like, what happened? Where was that energy?
Man,
Yeah.
we get family to come into town to visit. My mom won't even tell me. She'll pop in with my fucking grandma and my grandpa and like 2 cousins I ain't never met before. And she's like, "This is my son's tattoo shop. Isn't it beautiful?" I'm like, Mom, what the fuck are you doing here right now?
I guess I'd prefer that over the old way, but
I mean, they're excited about what you do now.
I try not to knock it, but they're my reminder every day, where it's like no matter what kind of day I have got to remember that as far as I'm concerned, I've got it great.
dude, my dad used to tell me when I was like 5, he's like, you don't want to dig ditches all day, do you? Stay in school, eat your cereal. And I was just like,
Eat your cereal.
man, I'm 5, dude.
He was stern. He was
Yeah.
telling you like life sucks if
Yeah.
you don't figure it out. So,
And I thought his jobs were so cool because he was always driving semi trucks and dump trucks. And I was like, dude, that shit is so cool. And operating heavy machinery. I was
Yeah.
like, that's what I want to do. My dad was like, I'll fucking kill you. He was not having it.
He was showing you. I think every dad, to a degree, feels like I want to show you a life worth living, not just make it all.
That's
about
why he
you.
always pushed
It's
the
not
art.
all about money.
No, it should be about the quality of life. Like before I got here for you guys, I know we go all on in a tangent. Before I got to you guys, I was at the state fair, riding roller coasters, acting like the biggest kid out there because we forget those moments of joy that you're just present in the moment. Everyone else is scared. They're like, I'm not doing that drop. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely doing that drop. I want to be as present as possible.
I'll leave it alone after this. I have 4 core principles I operate my life on. All things have to be in balance or you will find yourself unhappy. You got your mind, your body, your money, your honey. You got to take care of your mind. You got to take care of your body. You got to make sure your money's in order. And the honey is all the stuff that makes life sweet.
That's not what I thought it was.
I was like, you had me on 3 out of 4, but everything that makes life
I
sweet,
guess that
This
gets
would be a
roped
great
into the
add-on.
honey.
yeah, that's the honey.
It gets
That's
roped in the
That's the
honey.
honey. I'm okay with
It
that.
covers it
thinking
all, you know what I
That's
mean?
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to balance all 4 pillars. If you got a building with 3 strong walls and 1 that sucks, your shit's going to fall down.
I tell everyone that all the time. I say, I'd much rather have a bad job than a bad girlfriend. A bad girlfriend, you're going down the wrong path and there's no way getting up. A bad job, you can go to another location and have a whole nother outlook on life. So you got a good point with that fourth part. But the money, at this day and age, there's no one teaching you money management. It's not about getting money. It's managing it properly. That this next generation and the generation that we're in are just solely focused on. It's people that spent money last year that they weren't supposed to spend. And they're going to continue those bad habits without correction. I believe that this generation, not just going in tattoo and piercing, it's so much that you can give to the next generation. You went on a tangent at the end of that saying in our last podcast about how you can invest in yourself better, 401k, so on and so forth, where a company will leave you stranded. You can make sure you're better off by yourself. What can you do? And you say your money, your honey, and so on and so forth. As far as money management, that you're leaving, you're putting your best foot forward to protect you. That's outside of what the company does. So what you went on a tangent about that, but I wanted you to go a little bit more in depth about what you can do to protect yourself.
Man, if you want to talk about being in my realm of all things, this is it. One thing, all right, so this will apply more to young people than anybody else. If anybody under the age of 25 listens to this, you need to explore what coast fire is, and you need to achieve it as quickly as possible.
Coast fire?
So coast fire, to summarize it as quickly as I can, coast fire is a certain amount of, let's say you decide you want to retire with $4 million, and you set a goal for yourself. Coast fire is if you have X amount of dollars invested at 25 years old, you could never invest another dollar the rest of your life. Compound interest will reach $4 million by the time you hit 60 years old. Guarantee retirement. The reason I pose that question to young people is throw yourself back to a 25-year-old man. For what it's worth, The answer is, I believe, $150,000 at 25 years old. If you hit that goal at 25 and you knew that you could fuck everything else your whole life up, you could never have anything take off, but you'd still retire with $4 million in the bank, what kind of chances would you take for yourself? What kind of
You
reaches
take every
would
risk
you
in the
make?
book.
No chance at failing, then yeah, go fucking fail.
Yeah,
I mean,
boom.
you already know you're set by the time you get there. So it's
I don't think anything about me would change. Given the fact that I feel like everyone makes mistakes every day, I'm just trying to manage my mistakes a whole lot better, not create more damage than I've already done thus far. I believe that's the difference between your 20s and your 30s.
That's all you can do is try and, change yourself as a person on a daily basis and strive to be better the next day,
But still go balls to the wall. A lot
Hey,
of people,
man, I fall in these holes. Like, I've been fucking off this whole week.
I mean, most people do because discipline is the hardest thing to have in life. It means you got to do the things you don't want to do all the time. And that's the hardest thing for people to do is to parent themselves. Disciplining is like the worst thing. It's like eating chicken and rice every day.
It sucks.
You hate it, but all this work is going to pan off if you just can stay consistent. And everyone around you hates that you're disciplined. Nobody will want you to be disciplined.
Well, so I also noticed that you set the bar, people start to follow. They start asking you questions. Hey, man, what are you eating? Hey, what supplements are you taking? Hey, what do I need to take?
Those things will throw you off your discipline because anybody that's really focused on a goal has tunnel vision. I can't help everyone get to the top if I don't get there first myself.
But you can't. Somebody sent me that one. It was like, you can't put everybody on because not everybody's going to do the right thing when you put them on. So you got to focus on yourself and the ones around you, your 3 closest friends and your family, and just keep the eye on the prize. Or what do they say? Eye on the ball, goal on the hole.
I don't know. We weren't really.
I like it.
put your finger in the hole.
But I don't know about putting. I believe
You got to plant the seed for the future. The plant grows up, and then you fuck the plant right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Yo, as usual, conversation runs wild. Guys, we need to move. We need to move on to our favorite segment.
What's that?
Titties and never mind.
Titties and beer.
That's
Titties
it.
and beer.
We need
already had the beer.
to. We
Bleep
need
that.
to
Cut that
yep.
out.
We already
Joe's-
had the titties as well because he had.
We need to go
5
Joe
titties.
Spice of the week.
Go ahead.
That's what we got. Joe Spice of the week. And in case you don't remember, Joe Spice of the week is you guys need to tell us that one thing that gave you that great vibe for the week, right? Something that really helped you get through your day, something that helped push you across the threshold, something that made you feel so fucking good that you said, you know what? I'm a giddy little fucking girl dancing in my heart right now. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Matt, what do you got? What do you got for us this week?
Oh, all right. This week, anything's on the table?
Anything's on tape.
Dude,
We already talked about
what
dick
is
balls.
your spice, man?
My all right. So my favorite aunt in the world, my aunt Karen, is down from Michigan. She comes down every year. Drove out to Orlando on Wednesday to visit her. She's probably one of the only people in my family who's ever been like rock steady there for me, regardless of what's going on. And I got to just sit and like hang out with her and just talk and catch up for like 4 hours. I had to drive all the fuck way out to Orlando to do it, and then drive back the next fucking day. But I did it, and
Smart lady.
She's great. She's pure. I hope you see the same, Karen.
And
I
she
love
parties.
you. And she parties. We drink
And
a lot
she
of beer
parties.
together. It's a good time.
It's always good.
But
to
she's-
have a good aunt.
Yeah, she's like my second mom. She loves him too. She knows Mike very well. Just a good woman. Just seeing her always perks me up. That made my week for sure. Easy.
Spice of the week.
I'm with you on that one.
Seeing your fun aunt. I love it.
Nah, just seeing people that you never want to forget. It's always
give it a little
good
golf
like
clap.
that to have
Oh, yeah.
that. So you got to follow it up.
Oh, man, I had a pretty shit-ass week.
I mean,
I had a shit week, dude. I had the fucking dump truck guy, or the tow truck guy I fucking screamed at. My childhood neighbor passed away this year. Rest in peace, Dave. I think he's okay with it.
I hope he is. I hope he is. I hope he is.
I had to fire the lady
Yeah.
Wednesday, and then I took the day off yesterday to take care of some shit. And so all week I was just like, this whole week sucks. The only thing I'm looking forward to, this podcast.
Okay.
That's my flavor right there.
I mean, so he had the flavor just to look forward to us. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I was
Yo,
like,
this
dude,
shit is fun.
this podcast last time was fun. I'm having a lot of fun now. So yeah, this is what I've been looking forward to all week.
I tell everybody it's like a forest fire party. I mean, in the country where I live at, everyone has like bonfires where everyone sits around. We talk and we talk about everything that we're dealing with because men don't really sit down and talk. If we gotta sit down and talk, it's like, okay, let's go play golf or something like that. Let's do something productive instead of just sitting down and having a conversation. What's it like to be a man? So when I go to like my spice of the week, it's just those moments I was just telling you guys about. Going to the youth fair like I was a kid, eating funnel cakes and elephant ears, corn dogs. I didn't have a corn dog because for other reasons, but
That was a
never.
mistake.
Well, I should have had. I had the lemonade. I had all the other features.
Sweet
Do
corn
you
dog.
think that's why podcasts do so good? I've never thought about that. Men don't sit down and talk
At all.
No.
They don't vent. They just bundle it all up and go about their week like me, and then they take it out on tow truck drivers.
That's exactly
That's-
what people
yes.
do. What you do is you listen to things that correlate with you. So if this person is talking about something that I've experienced, I'm automatically gravitating towards it.
Yes.
Whereas though, or something that I'm excited about. That's the reason why people tune into us is because they want to hear what men go through on a normal basis. That's outside of relationships with women. If you sit around with majority of men, 10 minutes into the conversation, they're going to talk about a relationship they had with a woman because everyone can relate to that. But if you just talk about the relationships that you have, ones that are beneficial and ones that aren't beneficial, and how do you navigate through that? Because everyone knows you show me the top 4 people you hang around, I can show you the next 10 years of your life.
Show me your network. I'll show you your net worth.
So that's so important
bars.
when you think about that.
Bars.
So as you think about that, it's like, okay,
Dropping game.
I'm going to only surround myself around people that help me live in the honey, that help me focus on my money. And then how do I feel about me? At the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
Right.
I read a book that
Exactly.
said, first thing in the morning, you should say, how do I feel about me? And what do I need to change about me each and every day? Because I'm growing and I want to be in control of that growth. A lot of people don't want to be in control of that.
That's like some wild shit
That's
you
deep.
just
That
did,
is,
dude.
bro. You
Deep.
just dropping
Nailed it.
some dimes.
I
right now.
related with
Anybody
that.
anybody armpits real sweaty right
Dude,
now?
I am, dude. This is hot in here.
Dude, whoa.
Just a little bit. I
I'm
always try to
inspired
make
right
it a little
now.
bit more fun for
Imagine,
Buck.
I feel it.
imagine sitting with this guy for literally probably 75% of the last, 12, 13 years?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm always excited though.
No, I love that. I'm gonna look myself in the mirror tomorrow morning and be like, how do you feel about yourself, man?
How you feel about yourself?
You heard it.
It's
You
important.
know.
It's important. And if you can't fix that, that's a you problem.
That's a you
That's
problem.
a you problem. That's a you problem.
Hey, shout out to Judge.
Shout out
Hey,
to
that's
Judge.
a you problem.
That's a you problem. Go ahead. So it's on you, bro.
Yes. So as we get into the segment, every single time, for some reason, I always end up going last. And every time I hear his or someone else's beforehand, I feel really inadequate. I feel really unequipped for the next piece of what I'm about to spit out because we just went through some real majestic shit. Went through a rough patch with Mike, right? But he said, you know what? I'm looking forward to the podcast. That's great, right? Look forward to family. Then you get to me, and it's like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, I mean, you got to sum it up. You got to bring it full circle.
Yeah, and I fucking
You
let
got
it down. every week.
family, podcast, life.
Especially, dude.
What are you bringing to the table?
what am I bringing to the
Trifecta.
table?
Yeah, it's the trifecta of here.
The worst part is like ever since we started shooting this segment, literally at the end, like the beginning of every week, I'm like, all right, I start analyzing moments, but that's it. You know what
Putting
I'm
this
saying?
in the notebook. I'm ready.
like
Yeah,
I'm
it
writing
goes
this
out.
bitch down.
It all goes out the window.
Yes, and now it's
I do
fucking
that shit.
all out the window. That's
I mean,
bullshit.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So
no, it's
now
not a good thing. All right, I guess I'm just gonna go with my original.
Go ahead.
So,
I already love it.
Wait, you planned this?
yes, you have to. You really got to get. You got to get a little bit different because, like, especially the one we did when we on our first podcast. Like, I was juiced up. I was jacked up just by guys fucking grabbing life.
fucking, dude. Grab by the balls,
That's
man.
it. Just grabbing
Grab
life
dick
and
and
say, we're
twist it.
gonna fucking do it. That had me juiced up. Now, whatever. Here we go. So, moment that really kind of hit me throughout the week, right? There was a single moment where my daughter came home from school. She had a report card, right? And anybody that doesn't know, my daughter's name is Avery. And she's been, I'm not trying to throw my 9-year-old on blast here, but she's been struggling a little bit with her grades, right? Just a little bit.
That don't mean nothing.
Don't mean nothing.
Look at me.
That See? And so and my only motivation, and this is the same thing I tell my son. I said, look, I don't really give a shit what that letter says. What I care about is the effort you put in. That's all I care about. There's certain basic things is what you need to know now. So yes, you need to put in effort for this stuff. That's your job, right? Just like my job is to go to work and make money. Your job is to go to school and do the best effort you can. The past few months, she's come home. She's had some pretty dog shit grades. Had to get onto her a little bit. The last time, 2 months ago, she brought home, because it was like the end of December. Yeah, so she brought home a report card, and I had to really sit her down and be like, listen, this is on you. This is your responsibility. You can't expect to move forward in certain areas if you're not putting in basic effort when it comes to this particular part of your life, right? We're not talking about high school in some cases where they teach you useless shit. We're talking about basics, right? So I said, look, you're going to be able to hang with the rest of your classmates, or you're not. End of story. But ultimately, it's on you. You know what I mean? She came back to me on Thursday, and she brought the report card, brought a whole bunch of grades up. I was fucking stoked. I was like, look at that shit.
Dude, you know what worked for me? Motivation. She needs motivation.
See, and this is where, dude, you're hitting the nail on the head. She turned around and looked at me. When she first brought the report card, she had 1 A, she had 2 B's, the rest were C's and D's, right? She brought it back on Thursday. She had fucking 3 A's, 3 B's, a C, and a D. And I was like, fuck, what are we talking about, baby? Progress, not perfection. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta lay it into
I'm
bettering herself.
I'm getting juiced up right now. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is called effort. You're succeeding because you're trying, right? She literally started crying. Dad, I got a D.
Yeah, what was it like, gym? Girls are bad at that shit.
And it was reading, right? And I was like, Avery.
They got those books that read to you now. You know, she don't need that.
Audiobooks.
And that's the thing, like when I'm sitting here listening to her, and for the first time, I think it's really starting to click a little bit. She's starting to get the grasp of the understanding of the things I'm trying to teach her about. Listen, I love the fact that you're disappointed a little bit about the reading thing. Because when you get to be 14, 15, 16, 17, that's when you're going to start figuring out the things you want to do. Mike, when did you know you want a tattoo?
At 5.
No, I was like 10 or 12.
That's my point. She's getting to that age now. Imagine she finds the thing she wants to do, and all of a sudden she's realizing, okay, if I want to do that, I gotta be good at that. So if I'm gonna be good at this, same effort I put in this, I gotta put into that. That's
even
the
if it's
point.
a hobby.
Even if it's a hobby,
you know,
and those wheels are starting to churn a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I was like, damn, she's mad as shit, and I'm sitting here leaning back like, come here, baby girl.
She's getting.
I don't know why you were nervous about this. You just beat the shit out of all of us.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
I don't know about
the
that. I don't
mere
know.
fact that,
But that's what I'm saying. Like when she came in and she had that moment, and then she turned it around. She's like, "I'm gonna kick this bitch's ass," right? And I'm like,
I hope
yes.
she said that.
it's just like that.
Listen, Avery is a wild child.
Avery's a wild child. But
I-
that's the first thing that came to her mind is she's disappointed in the effort because she knows she can do better. And immediately I said, this is where you put your effort in what you want to do. I love the effort in you doing basics right now. That's what you need to learn because you're going to have this stuff in order to move forward because you have to learn how to read in order to do what you want to do. You're going to have to. You're going to have to do basic math. When you get to a point in high school, if they come back to me and they say, hey, you're failing something.
Calculus.
Yeah, like you're failing fucking calculus.
That shit's
Avery-
hard, man. Everybody
like
failing
number
calculus.
one, you probably don't want to do calculus. We all know this. But I love it. The transition and the way that she's churning that effort. And I know she's going to transition it into the thing that she wants to do. And no matter what it is in life, I know for a fact she's going to work her ass off for it. Great example like these guys. And that, I'm not going to lie, that gave me the fucking, that gave me the vibe.
You get 3? You get 3?
She won't be rich, and Papa can sit back. She'd take care of you.
It's quite
He's
possible.
never gonna stop working. You ever seen somebody that's really rich?
Hopefully, he's just doing podcasts.
They still work. They
Joe
still
Rogan?
work. You can't stop
Yeah,
working.
that's a little weird.
You
but
can't stop working.
that anyway, yeah. So that was the vibe. It really that gave me the fucking all time just juiciest fucking feeling, and I cruised through the next 2-3 days after that. So yeah, 2 days.
That's dope.
I cruised through the next 2 days after that. I was like, fuck yeah. It didn't matter what happened at work. Didn't matter what happened anywhere else. I was like, yeah, that shit made me.
And then
feel
you
good.
bought a new car.
I did buy a new car.
And that could have been like the you know.
But you should keep it in your back pocket. Speaking about new car, you should keep it in your back pocket. Next time she starts to fuck off, just be like, all right, we need a goal. Because my dad would do this for me. Actually, I think it was my idea, actually. Matt used to have an ATV when we were kids. By the way, somebody stole it during the hurricane, motherfuckers.
Son of a
Damn.
bitch.
I know. And I really wanted one. And his parents had the deal. If you have straight A's, you can have an ATV. And he did. He kept it. Dude, he got 1B. His mom almost killed him. Like, straight pulled a knife out. I was like, it was a bad deal.
It was a hammer, but
It was a hammer. Bro.
So, dude, I was like, I'm going to pitch the idea to my dad. You know, you don't know. Fuck around, find out. So I was like, hey, if I get straight A's, you want to buy me ATV? My dad was like, bitch, bring it. And I was like, all right. So the whole next year, I tried my ass off. Every day I went to Matt's house and we studied. And
I remember I was helping him with math homework and shit. I'd come over after school. I'd be like, sit down. We
dude,
going.
we pushed hard, dude. And
Did you get it?
my final report card showed up, A. My dad was like, fuck it, close enough, bought me an ATV.
Hell yeah. That's
So you
got to
set the goal. And that's how I learned that day. Like, that's how my brain works. So,
Yeah.
like, I got to set myself goals. Otherwise, I'm going to fuck off.
That's fantastic.
So,
And now he's got a Corvette in the parking lot.
yeah, I had to
Now
set
he's got a fucking
big,
Corvette.
giant, unrealistic goals, and come to find out they are. So it's like, you can do it. You got to fucking set goals.
God. Went from dick piercings to fucking achieving goals, baby.
Hey, that's
I
where
feel like
we
that's
at.
it. I feel like
You
that's
can
the
have
same.
both.
That's the same category.
Yo,
You can't have both.
You can't have both.
can't have
Yo, so number one, thank you guys again. I think we got to wrap up real soon, but thank you guys again.
Did you
for-
point at the Christmas wrapping and say, we're going to wrap up real soon?
I did.
He did.
Well, I meant my timer.
Okay.
But no,
sorry.
thank you guys so much for allowing us to come back, shoot another episode. Hopefully, we'll be able to do it again. Hopefully, we can make it several times.
Maybe
a year
next
thing.
time could be the finance one.
Yes,
I'll sit that one out.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
He's about to sit that one
if
out.
you guys have not already, please help out the crew. Right, go on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, leave a few comments. Right.
Here, how about this? Leave a comment. What was your favorite story of the whole episode? Don't just leave some random shit. Tell us what you liked.
Absolutely.
Tell these boys what was your favorite part. We want to know. You tell us. Maybe we'll talk about it some more.
What do you
That's
want
what we're
us to
asking
talk
for,
about?
Exactly. So, and thank you guys again for tuning in. Thank you guys again for having us. We really appreciate it. You guys be easy.
2 dimes and a token. You make